What is up, everyone? So the last week or so, you guys have been seeing me go ham on my 33, trying to get this RB25 softball finished up. And well, today I'm hoping to hear it run for the very first time. If it went successful, title probably gives it away. Hopefully the title doesn't say my RB25 soft gone wrong. So technically we're some oil and a base map away from hearing the thing run for the first time, but before we even attempt to do so, there's a couple things that I actually want to try and dial up. The first of which being this flex pipe that just showed up, welded into my downpipe. So let's go bug Johnny Little. Alright, so my cheap pipe here is a little loose fitting. Johnny's gonna do something about it. Alright, Jimmy, let's go see if it fits. Yes, sir. So John's got it all tacked up, and well, we got to make sure it still fits before he lays down all the beads. All right, no, everything fits great. That's awesome. So this thing looks so nice now. I'm so happy with it. So we now have a flex section on here so we don't put any stress on the manifold or the turbo. Then we have a new bung in the correct location for the O2 sensor so we don't smoke out the O2 super quick, and we also get an accurate AFR reading. Let's get this thing in there. Last thing I do need though is I technically need a hanger from here to right here, but it's tight enough now with the rear hangers that we should be good. And let's get this thing plugged in and the exhaust will be done for now. Thank God. So,
it's a big step.
It is a big step. While the car is in the air, we got two more things we gotta get done. Next piece of puzzle is this big old drive shaft. Finding a drive shaft for this thing was actually kind of an issue. I could have got an OEM drive shaft on eBay. It was like $400 shipped. Pain in the ass, right? It's 20-something years old at that point. A pre-made one-piece drive shaft online was like $600-something, and it took like 3 weeks to come in. But there's a place local to us, C2 Drive Shaft, that makes custom drive shafts, and well, they made one for me for like less than $400. You honestly can't beat that. Both ends are brand new. This one is the same end as the 300ZX trans. Has the same diff flange as like every 90s Nissan. And then this is just a piece of steel.
Can't beat it.
You can't beat it.
Oh yeah.
But what's nice about this is our drivetrain is officially hooked up.
Minus a couple bolts.
Minus a couple bolts, yeah.
Ooh.
Love that.
Damn, they did it. They did the thing.
So the last piece of the puzzle underneath is to install the slave cylinder. So I ordered RB25 slave cylinder, hasn't come in yet, and well, since this never came in the United States, we can't get it at the auto parts store. But what we can get is one from an 05 Maxima.
Oh.
Yeah, from a VQ. So technically a 350Z one should probably work. But the cheat code here is these work, but you have to add spacers to here to help it clear the bell housing. Put a buttload of washers on it right there.
Ooh.
Yep, already measured it all out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I think it's about 10 millimeters.
All right.
So
that's useful information.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Well, I can't take credit for this one. It's on a lot of forums, so.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
It actually doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I could live with that. It's really starting to look like something now, right? We just got a lot done real quick.
Yeah.
Now let's throw some fluids in the trans, the engine, bleed a slave, and we're getting close. A little bit of this, a lot of bit of that, and a whole lot of this. I'm a little nervous because I don't know the condition of the trans at all. Like the engine I know should run amazing because it came into Tommy's running driving car with like 40,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
The trans, fingers crossed. It's supposed to be a really strong trans, so we'll find out. Bump it up.
Louder.
Hold it.
DJ can't reach the pedals.
You have to do it by your hand, you idiot.
Hold it. I should just get the vacuum bleeder, huh? It's more fun this way.
It is more fun this way.
I get to make DJ suffer.
Have RJ suck on it.
Hey, Deej, you're not hitting the brake pedal instead, are you?
It's a stupid question.
I think it's a very
What
good
a
question.
stupid question.
Well, I mean, look who he's asking.
The shifter's digging into my damn collarbone.
Hold it.
DJ wants this done over with more
Oh.
than anybody.
Hold it.
Bump it up. How's that pedal feel? That stage 5 action clutch.
Dude, this is heavier than your S13.
I love heavy clutches.
I'm gonna get this part of my leg right here swole after driving this for
Dude,
2
it's a
days.
stage 5. And plug the action clutch thing right
Action
now.
clutch. If you want a swole leg, a great clutch for a cool car, hit up Action.
20% off.
20% off. Use the code Jimmy O.
Better use it soon.
Yeah.
Don't
forget
sleep.
Forget a gym membership, dude. Right here.
You good? Looks like you're up to something.
He's very finicky today.
So, right, everything's got fluid now. Clutch is bled.
Yeah.
Only thing that doesn't have fluid is the radiator. I don't want to get coolant in it just yet because there's one thing I want to, whatever. So today the goal is just to hear this thing run for 25, 30 seconds. I just want to hear what the exhaust sounds like. It's an RB25. These things sound amazing. So, basically everything is almost set up as if it can run and drive besides the coolant system, right? Everything else is done. So what we have to do now, you got to put the battery to it. You got to set up a base map. That's the next part of it.
On your Link Fury X.
On my Link Fury X.
Available on shopjimmy.com.
Love that.
Great
So,
segue.
The only thing that's preventing us from actually running it is I completely forgot until 2 seconds ago is I don't have the right injector pigtails, right? So we can't plug them in. My buddy Brian from Wiring Specialties is bringing those down tonight so we can repin them. That was my fault. I selected the wrong injectors on my checkout sheet, so shame on me. Unfortunately, that won't be for a couple hours. So for now, let's set up the base map and just go through and make sure everything works, all right? Boys, so we are plugged into our Link Fury, and this is the first time I've ever been in it, so it's kind of just like a blank ECU at this point, right?
Right.
All the inputs, outputs not really defined. It kind of has some generic fuel map on it, and we're going from there. So I've remoted in and showed you guys how to set up base map before. Today I'm not gonna do that, unfortunately. I'm just gonna go through it, give you a rough idea. This is our IO sheet from Wiring Specialties, right? So this is basically telling us where each pin on our harness goes. There's a lot of different inputs and outputs. We just have to define where they are, so the ECU knows where to grab the data from. Easy peasy, right? So we have things like our coolant temp sensor, our intake air temperature, we have our VTC solenoid, we have our boost controller, our fuel pressure sensor, our oil pressure sensor. It just goes on. And so what we have to do is basically go down the list here and go through and select every single one we have and define every single thing we got. I'll catch you guys in like a half hour. Okay, so I just uploaded the map and you can see that our coolant temp and intake air temperature sensor are both reading pretty accurately. If I kick the fuel pump on, we could see that the fuel pressure sensor is actually working. So as you guys saw, it took forever to go up. It still has a stock pump in it. I haven't had time to change it yet, but that's enough to let the car idle. Won't be enough to actually get on the car, so we'll change it out tomorrow. Be good to go. We will bring this down to 42. Nice. So now we see all our sensors are working fine. I set up the trigger data, oil data, injector data, all the RB specific stuff, a rough map for the fuel and the timing. We have the sync base timing, and then we have to get the injector pigtails done, and this thing should run. All right, guys, it's time to set base timing. I like to put a little plug wire in between cylinder 1 right there when we test it. It's just more accurate this way. If you try to do on the wire, it's not really accurate. So usually I take the plugs out so it cranks faster so we can get a better idea of base timing, but it's cranking pretty fast, and I think we'll be pretty good. I think we'll be good. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Hold up.
That sounds like it's cranking pretty fast.
supposed to be smoking?
No, he's not kidding.
Is it really? Is it really smoking?
He just blew smoke.
No, the relays are warm.
Did you set that in the base?
Did it really just smoke?
No, I literally just saw a puff of smoke when he blew.
Do it again. Oh, you stupid idiots!
I'm mad that DJ's gonna live forever.
Teaching Donnie how to tune real quick. All right, hit it again. Oh, dead nuts. We're good, we're good. All right, so we have the ignition timing being controlled by the ECU, being commanded accurately to the crank, so the timing is now synced. I'm too eager to repin the injectors right now, so I depin them and just shoved them in there. But I put a little insulator around it so it won't, you know. It looks pretty legit.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
I'd run a drift event like that. I mean, I wouldn't, but I probably would. Everything's set up. So technically this thing should just start. right? It should just start.
That's the goal.
The only thing I have to make sure is if the injectors are scaled correctly, because it's kind of like a guess and check method. And so I just threw a number at it. And we'll see.
DJ's gonna check your schematics over here.
All right, Donnie.
Make sure all your data is correct.
It takes a while to build field pressure, so it might crank a little bit before it starts, but give me 1 second. Okay. All right, hold it. Try again. Interesting.
How peculiar.
Usually they just start. Turn the key on.
That's too much fuel.
No, ignition timing is just not.
I didn't crank it.
That was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life. Why did it just do that? Maybe the cam. Maybe my.
That was loud.
That was real loud. Doesn't help it was right next to the garage door.
Maybe the cam angle sensor is shot. You hear that?
Yeah.
That might have just been bleeding lifters. Good reaction time though. That started up instantly though.
Yeah.
The cam, basically the trigger offset for the cam angle sensor was just flipped 360, so it was like firing the wrong stroke. That's why it backfired so crazy.
Like so far away.
Okay, so we had that crazy rattle noise, and that could either be the VTC gear getting oil pressure, which is definitely plausible.
Yeah.
Or it could be in the head, or something could be in one of the cylinders. Should we just do it again and see what happens?
Crank it.
That's up to you.
Yeah, just be ready to kill it.
Yep.
Yep.
Ready?
Yep. That doesn't sound good.
Did we lose maybe an injector pulse?
No, that's like internally.
That was just straight misfire. Well, I had it. Bro, what is
that?
up? I think it's just the VTC gear being a butthole. I think it's VTC gear. The engine hasn't ran in a really long time. We did crank it over for a while, but some oil that needs to get up there high and get in there. So we're gonna run it for a little bit longer. Hope that a quiet sound goes away. You know, the head just isn't fully bled, hopefully, and the VTC gets oil through the head. So fingers crossed. That doesn't sound good. Let me get the timing back out.
Yeah.
We set timing on the crank, and it should be close enough, but it obviously sounds like the timing is off by like 20 degrees. That sounds crazy.
That is a lot.
I think it's sucking.
Yeah, that's a lot from that turbo. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it should sound like that. Is the key on?
No.
Okay. Always just go back to key on.
I try. I get scared. It's a panic turn.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure. I would do the same thing.
No panic, Sumo. Just do it. No panic.
All right, so the ignition timing doesn't seem really far off. It sounds like it's off like crazy. The ignition timing, though it sounds like it's super retarded, it was actually spot on. So that moves on to a different issue. Big crank.
Johnny, gone. Instantaneous.
I don't like that.
That sounds crazy.
Is your exhaust hitting?
It was flashing real good that
Was
time.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna call it and say the cam sensor is not working. I know you all told me so, but I was being faithful.
I told you.
Yeah. Shut up. So I think the cam angle sensor is fighting us here. Seems like it's just throwing the timing. Like obviously you saw the timing that was just all over the place. Like I said before, I thought it would at least work for startup with the stock wheel in it, but it doesn't seem happy.
Can I help you?
Just watching.
I can feel you breathing on my neck.
I ordered the AAM decoder reel for it. I think it came in today. Let's go find it. So that actually came in the mail. So what that is a smaller resolution of pickups for the cam angle sensor. If we have weird timing issues, probably gonna assume it's this junk ass cam angle sensor. We gotta separate this. Ta-da.
Wow.
Ooh.
Ah.
Form surgery here. See this thing right here? See all those little lines?
Yeah.
Right? Those are all pickup points. There's like 360 of them. Way too many. Right? So it's
Yeah.
really easy for the ECU to miss one and throw off the ignition timing, and then everything sucks and it sounds all weird like that. So what we're doing is we're going to change out this wheel for something with less pickup points. So there's less chances
room for error?
Less room for error, I guess. Yeah, whatever you want to consider it.
Okay. There you go.
Perfect.
Nice.
It's a bearing there for the shaft.
Little
Wow, you really got to dissect this thing. I should have did a little bit more research on this. Actually, I have to remove it from here somehow. Oh, there we go. Is she coming? There we go. Deej!
Oh, good save.
Nice.
The pin is out. Now this thing can get.
Can it?
Yeah, I need a flathead. Boom. So now we have this, and we got to pull the bearing off.
Jesus.
It's a good time. It's a real good time. I don't even want to show what I just had to do, but I got it all apart. The bearing is rocked. So even if this does work, it looks like it's not a long-term solution. We're gonna have to get the aftermarket cam and crank trigger set. Really hoping to at least get by for a couple weeks with just the stock one, but we'll see.
It's an RB.
It's an RB. So, okay, well, here you go. Here's a little guess into what I just did.
There's some heat in there.
So look at the difference. How many pickups first is that one? Yeah. It's over it. Put it here, spin it in. Hope that's all good still. All right, now this stupid thing's gonna go back on. This poor bearing, dude. I put this thing to the runner.
Putting it the same way back on.
Oh, that's a pro tip.
There we go, get that in there.
Ooh, that was probably the smartest thing I've ever seen.
Boom. Fingers crossed for me, boys.
Everything crossed.
I'm not feeling too optimistic. Come on, get back in there. This thing still works after I beat the living ass off of it.
You better go play like a lotto number or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, give it a crank. Nope. Oh, I know, it's very anticlimactic. I inputted all the correct settings. We just tried probably 6 times off camera, and it's not working. I guess I was not delicate enough with that piece. I was guaranteed we were gonna ruin that thing doing what we just did, but we had to try it. So, I do have a 300ZX cam angle sensor at my house. Well, we all know why. And you can make them work on here. I'm tempted to try that tomorrow, just so I could at least hear this thing run for more than 5 seconds. But we might have to do the cam angle crank sensor. It's kind of a pain in the ass to put on, but at least if I get that, it's kind of like a one and done. I was just trying to get by in the meantime so we can get this thing together quicker than not. So cool. Sometimes you gamble and a lot of times you lose. So I'm happy to hear it run. The VTC was going a little crazy, but once we got some oil pressure into it, it was definitely calming down. Yeah. I mean, we never heard this thing with more than like 800 RPMs in it, so that'll do it. Just a little concerning when it's your first startup, right? Any noise makes you literally go insane. So I tried. Cam angle sensor screwed me. I'm very confident it's that, so we'll go from there. So I'm just rambling on. So I hope you guys still liked today's video. Everything else seemed pretty freaking good, so I'm pretty happy about that. But I'm happy I didn't put coolant in it yet because I got to take out the radiator and stuff, so it all worked out. So you guys know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. And Sumo?
Have a wonderful night, guys. Peace.